Okay, boys and girls, so now what we're going to do is a study guide for your grade 5 test. And usually I would write this out, but since we did review last week, I thought it would be easier to do this as a way that you can study at home instead of just looking at a book. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to count in my head until 10, and then I'll answer the question so that you can study it the way it needs to be studied. Okay? All right. So we are looking at Unit 4 on peer pressure. All right. So I'm going to be using like the story and everything in this scenario. Okay, so in the story, I should not have done that. What were the names of the 3 best friends? The 3 best friends were Tony, Ben, and James. Okay, question 2. These two of these friends were doing something not right, and later they would get in trouble for it. What was it that they were not doing right? They had been stealing for a couple of months. Okay, so when the boys got caught stealing, what were 3 things that happened to them? What were 3 of the consequences for what they did? Okay, so first, they had to go to the police station. They got arrested. Then they had to sign an agreement saying that they would never steal again, and then if did, they would be in even more trouble. And they weren't allowed to go outside anymore together because they couldn't be trusted. Okay? Okay, so what does it mean by pressure? It means applying some kind of force. What do we mean by peer? It means someone that is your age or around your age. So it could be 1 year, 2 years older than you, or 1 or 2 years younger than you. But usually a peer isn't somebody that's in your family. It's someone like your friend, or it's someone that's around your age that's not a friend. What is peer pressure? Okay, peer pressure is the feeling that someone is pushing you towards a certain choice. And peer pressure can be both negative and it can be positive. But most peer pressure, when you hear it, is something negative. So negative peer pressure means pushing someone to do something that would be bad. It would hurt somebody, okay? And positive peer pressure then would be what? Right. Positive peer pressure would be something pushing someone to do something that's good. All right, so on your test, I'm going to make you do the peer pressure survey, which is on pages 60 and 61, and you'll have to honestly answer it. It's for you so that we can put it in your file. So next year, when you come back to it in your life skills classes, you'll be able to see if your thoughts have changed on these things. Okay, so this will be part of your test. So you will have to know pages 62 and 63. You will have to know the 4 types of negative peer pressure. And you'll have to look at the scenarios, which are the little stories, and decide which of those 4 parts or 4 negative peer pressure types goes in each parts of those stories. I might change some of the wording, but for the most part, it will be about the same. Okay, so what are the 4 forms of negative peer pressure? Okay, they are insult, rejection, reasoning, and unspoken pressure. Okay, so sometimes you have to think about your choices, and this question will be from page 64. And I will say something like, name 3 things that you should do before you make your choices. There's 5 there, but you'll have to know at least 3. 2 more could be for half point extra credit or skills cash. Okay, whatever. So it'll be half points will be half and half. All right, but 3 of them I will ask you to write. So what are 3 ways that you can think carefully before you make your choices? Okay, so one way is, what exactly are my peers asking me to do? Another thing is, you could think, is this the right thing to do? Another thing you would think about is, what will be the results of this action? Number 4 would be, would my parents feel proud of me if I do this? And 5 would be, would I feel proud of myself if I do this? So like I said, you only have to answer 3 of them, but if you give me all 5, I will give you half extra skills cash or half points extra credit. Okay. And the last question will be from pages 68 or near the last part, and I will ask you, saying no using the I message is very powerful. So what are the 5 ways that you can say no to negative peer pressure? The 5 ways are, number 1, make an excuse to leave the place. Number 2 is change the subject. 3 is act shocked. Number 4 is suggest a better idea. 5 is use flattery. Or 6, ignore them. Okay, so that's it. That's going to be what your test is going to be about. Again, you can take your book home and study, and you can study along with me, and you can and learn it that way. But I thought if you could have somebody to kind of quiz you, you would be able to do much better. Okay? All right, boys and girls, I'll see you next week for your test. Have a good weekend. Bye.